My beloved child, do not let these words merely pass through your mind like a fleeting thought. Let them go deeper, through the layers of defense you have unconsciously built after so many wounds, so much weariness, and so many times you told yourself you had to be strong just to survive. I do not want you to hear only with reason, and then put these words away as something beautiful yet distant. I want my word to touch the deepest place within you, the place that still holds the memory of the days when you were truly close to me, when your heart could tremble at even the smallest sign, when you recognized my presence before you could even name it. There are parts of you that have never forgotten me. They are only sleeping beneath the dust of time, beneath the noise of life, beneath your worries and the times you made yourself hardened. And today I am coming not to rebuke you, but to awaken you, not to make you ashamed, but to help you remember where you truly belong. I did not write your name upon life with fading ink, but engraved you in my deep and living love. That love is not a passing emotion, not a promise hanging vaguely in the air, and certainly not a shallow tenderness that exists only when everything is calm. That love has passed through pain, through self-giving, through depths humanity cannot fully measure. I gave myself completely, not halfway, not cautiously, not keeping any part of you for myself in reserve. I went to the very end of love, so that you would know you have never been loved in a faint or fragile way. That love bears the marks of sacrifice, the warmth of mercy, and the weight of a covenant that will never be broken. So when you wonder whether you are still held, remember that I did not love you with empty words, but with a love that went to the very depths of giving my child. I am calling you, but not with loud sounds that startle you, nor with threats that leave you, knowing only fear. I call you with a holy trembling, a quiet shaking, strong enough to disturb the weak foundations on which you have unknowingly built your life. There are foundations of false security, foundations of habit, of comfort, elevated into an idol of an outward morality that no longer has life within. I am causing them to shake not to destroy you, but to save you from continuing to stand on what cannot sustain you to the end. I am awakening you from the long sleep of delay, from the habit of letting days pass, while your heart does not truly move. I am reminding you that this is the hour to wake up. This is the time when there is no more room for being half-hearted, for a faith that appears only when convenient, for a life that turns toward me only when everything else is finished. This is the moment when you must decide with your whole heart, what will you belong to, and what will you allow to guide your life. I love you. That has never changed. But my love is not passive, standing still and waiting for you to return whenever you please. That love always invites a response, not because I need to be affirmed, nor because I lack you so much that I must cling to you. I know clearly what awaits you behind every hesitation, every time you let your heart drift elsewhere, every time you try to fill the emptiness with things that can never heal it. I have seen you pass through seasons of distance. I have seen you search everywhere and still fail to find true rest. I was there quietly waiting, quietly calling, quietly keeping you from falling too far. But my beloved child, I do not want you merely to be held in something temporary. I do not want you to live like someone who only comes near the door of life and then turns away. I do not want you one day to realize that you had been so close to what was good, yet still refused to enter. My child, there is something that grieves me more than your weariness. When you choose to be absent before the love that has already opened wide to receive you. Not because I am easily wounded like a human being, but because I know how deep that separation will leave an emptiness in your life. I know you have had days when you chased after many other voices, many other invitations, many things that seemed able to fill the place only I can touch. But the farther you go, the more you find that your heart is not truly at rest. The more you try to hold on to passing things, the emptier your hands feel. Therefore, I am calling you back, not by force, but by truth. You were created for life, for light, for communion with me, not for a life separated from its source. My beloved child, this is not the time to sleep a little longer. This is not the time to say that you will return later, when you are less busy, less tired, when everything is easier. Life does not wait forever. Grace is coming. The door is open. The call is sounding. Gentle yet clear, persistent yet not endlessly extended according to the rhythm of your hesitation. I do not want you to pass through the very moment of awakening and let it slip away. I do not want you to look back and realize that you stood so close to the light, but still held tightly to darkness simply because you feared change. Draw near to me while you can still hear that call. Open your heart while you can still feel that stirring. Choose me with the sincerity of a heart that knows it needs to be saved, corrected, and brought back to life. For in the end you are not loved so that you may remain forever ever outside. You are loved so that you may enter. Loved so that you may remain. Loved so that you may be transformed from within until you yourself become a sign of that love in the world. And I, the one who loved you before you even knew how to return, am still waiting for you with a heart that does not grow weary, does not change, and does not let go. Let this time be the time you respond. Let this time be the time you not only hear, but walk. Let this time be the time you not only feel moved, but return. For you were not created for separation. You were called into life, and that life is right here, in the very word I am speaking to you today. My beloved child, do not be confused when you realize there are still parts within you that have not truly surrendered. Do not be troubled if there are days when you eagerly seek me, only for your heart the next day to grow dry like cracked ground under long sunlight. I do not look at you with the disappointment with which you so often look at yourself. I know you are moving through a process, and I understand every inner struggle within you, between light and darkness, between the call of peace and the pull of old habits. I am not surprised by that battle, because I saw it before you even knew how to name it. That is why I did not leave you to walk alone. I gave you my Holy Spirit, not as a distant mark, but as life dwelling with you, reminding you when you forget, sustaining you when you grow weary, and teaching you to stand again when you think your strength has run out. What touches me most deeply is when you still come back to me, even when you feel you have nothing worthy to bring. When you come without confidence, without achievements, without a polished appearance, bringing only the disorder within your heart, and believing that I will still receive you. That is when your faith becomes clearest. I do not wait for you to bring only what is beautiful before I open my heart to you. I do not seek you only where you have finished everything, nor do I touch you only when you feel worthy. I want you to come to me exactly as you are, with your unfinished weariness, your unnamed fears, and the cracks that still ache silently. I do not reject the part of you that you are hiding. I do not step away from the shadows you do not want to face. Instead, I bend down to touch them with the gentleness of mercy. I touch not to condemn, but to heal. I look not to expose, but to set free what you thought had to be hidden because of shame. I see as the place where I can work most deeply, because wherever you dare to surrender truthfully, there I can truly renew. My beloved child, I know that many times you have silently asked yourself, is he still here with me? After the times I did what was not right, after the times I missed his call, after the times I ran after other things and then returned with a heavy heart, does he still love me? My child, my answer has never changed. I am still here, not far away, not cold, not turned against you. I do not change with the winds of circumstance, nor am I unstable with the rise and fall of human emotions. When you walk steadily, I am there. When you waver, I am still there. When you are faithful, I am there. When you fall and feel you no longer have the face to return, I am still standing there to receive you. My love for you is not reduced by mistakes, not worn away by time, not withdrawn because of the days you have gone astray. It remains whole, firm, and unbreakable. That unchanging love is the place where you can take refuge when everything around you is trembling, when you can no longer believe in yourself, believe in my love for you, when you can no longer understand what is happening within your own heart. Anchor your heart in what I have never changed. There are times when you think you are drifting very far away, but in truth, I am still holding you with invisible cords of mercy. There are nights when you think you have been forgotten, but I am only quietly working in places you cannot yet see. There are silences I do not rush to fill, because in that stillness, I am teaching you to recognize my voice more clearly. And when you become quiet enough to listen, you will know that I have never left your side, not even by one step. Therefore, do not fear your weakness. Do not hesitate to bring what is unfinished before me. I do not require you to be perfect in order to be near me. I only want you to be sincere. I only want you to open the door. I only want you to allow me into the places you still hold tightly, because you fear being hurt. I will not harm what I touch. I will not shame you for what you offer. What I do is heal, rebuild, renew, and cause the places that were once barren to begin sprouting again. You have walked for too long with the thought that you must fix everything yourself. Now I call you home, so you may learn that there is one who loves you, even in your incompleteness. And it is that very love that will teach you to grow. Let your heart rest in this. I never abandon the one who comes to me, even with a trembling step. I do not despise a heart full of scars. I do not distance myself from the one who truly desires to return. You do not need to perform a stronger version of yourself before me. Come as you are, for let me see it all. Let me touch it all. For where you dare to be honest, I have room to create new life. And where you dare to return, my grace will not only embrace you, but also lead you farther than anything you once thought you could overcome. My beloved child, engrave this deeply in your heart. Not every miracle comes with shouts of triumph, and not every transformation begins with great visible signs. There are mysterious works, born only in silence in a heart that knows how to pause, to listen, and to obey even before it sees the whole path ahead. There are walls that do not fall because of the strength you struggle to gather, but because your heart has softened before my call and chosen to follow what I teach. It is precisely when you trust, without needing to hold every answer, precisely when you step forward, though much remains unclear in your heart, that I do things beyond your expectation. Sometimes you think you are only praying for one peaceful night, but I use that very prayer to keep you from a dangerous turn. Sometimes you think you are simply lifting a song of praise in the midst of ordinary tasks, but I allow your worship to become a fragrance that lifts your home before heaven, and darkness cannot touch it. I want you to understand that you were not created to live withdrawn and small. You are one to whom I have given authority to stand firm, to walk with the dignity of someone who belongs to me. You are not someone swept away by circumstances, nor someone who must bow your head before the relentless pressures surrounding you. I have placed within you the authority of a child belonging to the kingdom of light, so that you may know what to open and what to close, what to agree with as good and what to refuse as destructive, not only for your own life, but also for your home, your community, and the generations after you. Therefore, stop seeing yourself as someone too small to make an impact. Rise up as one entrusted with a sacred responsibility. Walk with the bearing of someone who knows they are not alone. Because behind you is my hand, above you is my covering, and beside you are invisible armies still standing in position. Do not let doubt make your steps falter. Do not let the voice of fear make you forget the identity I have given you. Lift your head, my child, for you are not walking in uncertain darkness, but drawing near to the deliverance prepared for you. I do not leave your battlefield. I do not withdraw when the confrontation becomes fierce. On the contrary, I am still standing there, quiet yet powerful, arranging all things according to the will of love. When you open your mouth in my name, when you speak not from confusion but from trust, locked doors will begin to move, chains will begin to tremble, and the things that once bound you will no longer be able to keep their old power. You are not called to live like one afraid of the shadows. You are called to bring light into places that were once cold, to bring life into places that were once silent, and to bring peace into places once filled with chaos. I am inviting you to cooperate with me in a very deep way, not by your own strength, not by straining yourself to prove anything, but through the voice of faith. Learn to speak what I speak, and believe what I have promised, even when the circumstances before you have not changed immediately. Speak life into places that seem exhausted. Speak peace into places shaking with storms. Call light into the dark corners, covering your mind, your family, and each of your decisions. When you speak with the boldness of one who knows they belong to me, your words do not fall to the ground meaninglessly. They go forth, touching what I am moving in the unseen realm, and the result will come at the time I have appointed. Some people see only the outer part of things, so they may think you are speaking very small words, but I know this. Sometimes even a single word you utter in trust can become the key that opens an entirely new journey. Some collapses seem to come from human strength, but in truth they happen because a heart dared to obey. Some doors seem tightly locked, but when you take the right step in faith, they will open in ways you did not expect. I am not telling you to create miracles with your own hands. I am inviting you into union with me, so that what I appointed beforehand may be revealed through your life. That is why you must not take lightly even the smallest things: a silent prayer, a song while working, a pause at the right moment, a step willing to return. From such things, many great streams begin. Therefore, my beloved child, be courageous. Do not live as though everything remains beyond your reach. You have a place in my plan. You have a voice that is heard by me. You have authority to stand firm, to affirm what is good, to reject what is dark, and to open a way for life to pass through. When you speak in trust, heaven does not regard your words as a passing breeze. When you pray in faithfulness, I do not let your voice dissolve into empty space. When you boldly walk according to my leading, you are placing your steps on the path of victory. And when you remember to whom you belong, you will stop trembling before the things that once made you falter. I am waiting for you to cooperate with me through your very life. Let your words become a place where life is lifted up. Let your voice bring peace into troubled places. Let my light pass through you and touch the places covered by darkness. You were not created to be silent before what is wrong, but to speak with faith and love. Therefore, speak what is good, stand firm in what is right, and keep walking as one who knows they are accompanied by the King who never loses a battle. You are not walking alone. You are walking with me, my beloved child. I remember not only the times you walk in trust, but I also see very clearly the moments when you still hesitate before my call. There are times when you hear a very gentle prompting from within, yet your heart is pulled in many directions. On one side is what I am leading you toward, and on the other are familiar things that appear safe outwardly, but do not always bring true life. I do not blame you for that slowing down, because I know you are growing in understanding, learning to recognize my voice amid the many competing sounds of life. But remember this, every time you choose to listen to me instead of following fear, you open the door wider for my grace to go deeper into every part of your life. There are works I can only do when you are willing to stop, become still, and let me touch the old things that cling tightly within you. In that very obedience, I quietly break what no longer belongs to you, and build within you a new life, more enduring, clearer, and freer. You also need to understand that the path of walking with me will not always cause others to applaud you. There are seasons when, because you remain faithful, you will have to go against the current. There are right choices that may cause you to be misunderstood. There are obedient steps that may cost you a few things you once thought were precious. But my child, what you release for my sake has never been meaningless loss. What you leave behind is only the temporary cost of a greater joy waiting ahead. There are things that, if you try to keep them, will quietly make your heart heavy, cloud your vision, and cause you to forget what truly matters. But when you dare to walk in obedience, I will return to you a lighter heart, no longer bound by what is wrong or by habits that pull you away from my purpose. I will open for you a clearer vision so that you no longer see only what is before your eyes, but begin to understand the deeper meaning of the journey you are passing through. And above all these things, you will receive me myself, my presence beside you in every decision, every turn, every breath, every long night, and every new morning. Do not think my voice always comes like loud thunder, shaking everything often. I come very softly. I am in the uneasiness you cannot name. I am in the strange prompting that makes you slow down before a path that seems very favorable. I am in the gentle pull that draws you towards something you had not noticed before. Sometimes I do not speak with sound, but with peace when you are going in the right direction, or with heaviness in your heart when you are about to turn towards something not meant for you. Therefore, you need to keep your heart tender. A tender heart is where light can enter, where my reminders are not buried, where you remain sensitive enough to recognize my guiding hand. If your heart becomes hardened, you will easily overlook the small signs I use to protect you. And when you no longer recognize my voice, you will slowly step away from the protection I had long prepared for you. I do not want you to live in false toughness. I do not invite you to become someone who only knows how to defend yourself, protect yourself, and force your way through each day. I invite you into a life that knows how to listen, how to pause, how to return, and how to let me correct you without closing the door of your heart. Tenderness does not make you weak. It makes you easier to guide, easier to heal, and easier to protect. A soul that knows how to listen will not easily lose its way. A person who remains sensitive before me will not have to wander too long in places where I never called them to go. So, my beloved child, when your heart feels unsettled about something, do not quickly dismiss it. Stop and ask me. When you hear a very gentle yet persistent call, do not pass over it as though it does not matter. It may be the small bridge I have placed before you to lead you to the shore of peace. I know there are days when you are tired. There are days when you only want to take the old path because it is easier, when you only want to choose what causes less disturbance. But what causes less disturbance is not always what is best. What is familiar is not always what I have prepared for you. What you see with your eyes is not always what benefits your life. Therefore, trust my guidance, even when you do not fully understand. The greatest protection I give you is sometimes not found in what you receive immediately, but in what I help you avoid. There are doors I close to keep you from losing direction. There are paths I do not allow you to continue on, because the end of those paths does not bring life. There are voices I allow you to hear, not to make you afraid, but to awaken you, and bring you back to where I am waiting there for. Keep your heart close to me. Let each day become an opportunity for you to learn how to hear, how to slow down, and how to respond to my leading with a simple heart. When you do this, you will see that my life is no longer something distant, but a quiet and certain current renewing you little by little. Then what you thought was loss will become preservation. What you thought was delay will become perfect timing. What you thought was sacrifice will become maturity. For I never lead you wrongly, never remain silent when you truly need guidance, and never leave the place where I have placed my hand upon you, my beloved child. Do not be quick to fear when you hear of schemes quietly surrounding you. There are people who choose to walk in darkness, confident that secrecy will conceal every intention. They arrange words, calculate steps, and lay out layers of disguise to blur the truth, to confuse you, to pull down your honor, and to divide your heart between suspicion and sorrow. But I want you to remember this deeply. I am not the one who stands outside and merely watches everything pass by. I do not sleep before human deceit, nor do I leave you alone within the circle of such schemes. Above the things they build with temporary cleverness, I place a foundation that can never be shaken. Above the smallness of passing plans, I place the promise of eternity, and that promise is not fragile like sand, but firm like the rock I appointed before all ages. Therefore, do not let your gaze be drawn into what others are doing, no matter how sharp it may appear, no matter whether it makes your heart grow cold. Lift your eyes above that noise. Look toward the place where I am preserving what belongs to you. People may construct a distorted picture of you, try to place you into roles you never chose, and seek to make others believe what is not true. But you are not defined by rumor, not measured by judgment, and not confined by stories that are half true and half false. You are called by my voice. You are recognized by my hand. You are kept within my purpose, and that purpose does not change, simply because some do not want to see the true beauty within you. Do not forget that I am the one who named you in the light of grace. Before you fully understood your own worth, I already saw what I wanted to do in you. When you were still uncertain at the crossroads, I had already placed a sign upon you. When you wondered whether you were good enough, strong enough, or worthy enough, I was still quietly affirming that you were not chosen because you were perfect, but because I loved you with a love that requires no conditions. You are not a collection of criticisms. You are not the sum of misunderstandings. You are not the shadow others cast over your life. You are one who belongs to me, and I have defined you by goodness, by blessing, and by a meaningful mission that rises above every opposing voice. I know there are times when you grow tired, times when you want to lower your head just to avoid the harsh winds blowing against you, times when you feel pushed backward by things beyond your control. But my beloved child, do not live like one already defeated. I did not call you to live small in fear. I called you to stand upright. I called you to remember that the storm does not decide your destiny. The storm may roar, but it has no authority to erase what I have spoken. People may say things that wound you, but they have no power to break what I have built. They may want to make you doubt yourself, but I am using those very days to teach you to recognize your true identity. You are not abandoned. You are being led. You are not powerless. You are being kept. You are not alone in this battle. I am with you, and my presence is a wall no arrow can pierce. Remember a man of old who carried a great work on his shoulders, amid mockery and opposition. He did not build in peace, but while some tried to discourage him, some tried to tear the work down, and some sought to make his hands fall limp halfway through. Yet he continued placing each stone, not because he did not hear the ridicule, but because he knew he was doing what had been entrusted to him. The miracle was not only that the wall was rebuilt, but that the builder's heart was not defeated. I remind you of that story, so you may understand that what is opposing you is not the final word. The resistance around you does not have ultimate power. What is built by my hand will still stand firm, even if someone tries to shake it. And what I am building within you is the same, not merely an outward appearance, but inner endurances, but peace deeper than fear, and faith great enough for you to keep moving forward. So, my child, lift your head. Do not bow your face as though your destiny has been decided by human words. Do not step back simply because there is noise around you. Do not let shame make you forget that you are covered by my mercy. You are blessed not once, and then no more, but again and again, in seasons you do not understand, in days when you are weak, even when you are still stumbling. I placed my hand upon you before you knew how to name yourself. I kept you in the moments when you thought everything was slipping from your hands. And now, I invite you to step out of the darkness of self-doubt and stand in the light of what I have spoken over you. It is time for you to stop defining yourself by what others pour into your ears. Learn to hear my voice louder than the voice of the world. Learn to trust what I have placed within you more than what the world tries to attach to you. I was not mistaken when I loved you. I was not wrong when I called you. I do not change when others change. Therefore, keep walking with the posture of one who is preserved, with the courage of one who has been sent, and with the peace of one who knows they are in the hand of the one who never abandons. Even if you pass through days full of contrary winds, even if you still hear many things that make your heart ache, I will still be there. I will lead you through, restore order in what is tangled, and remind you that you belong to me, always.